Dear Lily, do you remember the events I told you of? About the friend I made here in the country and the trip we were planning? Since I haven't heard from you, here it is in short. We're going to the moon. Cavor has designed a capsule which should take us safely through space and back home again. At least, that's the hope.
Parcel for Mr. Bedford.
That'll be the glass interlining.
Thank you, Marius.
Well, is it?
Help me in with it, would you? By the end of March, the completion was in sight. We had our layered insert now ready and in position, under the crane we had rigged to sling it into the metallic shell. It was not really a sphere, but polyhedral, with panels riveted together and windows here and there to gauge our flight. It was amazing how closely we kept to the lines of Cavor's original inspiration. But there was more to plan. As brilliant as he was, there were one or two times my input came in useful.
Seats?
Yes, of course we'll need seats.
Oof.
I thought that was the plan all along. You said the journey could take weeks.
With no gravity, why would we need them?
Because I'm used to them. I like them.
You'll delay our trip?
Humour me then. What are we taking up with us?
Compressed food, condensed water, steel cylinders for reserve oxygen, sodium peroxide to purify the air.
Books? Comforts? Entertainment?
Bedford, you knew the deadline. If you want to make changes now, you have 24 hours to do it. Otherwise, the relative position of the moon will change, and we'll end up using far too much of our resources on the journey.
Fine. I'll make a start.
And I'll check over the suits.
So like that, I got to work, seething at this man who for most things was a genius. Truth be told, I didn't finish building the seating that afternoon. I was sick of the sight of it, so I just let him get on. Instead, I paid a visit to the local inn, my first in months. I had some bad times before my business collapse, but the very worst of those was sweet slumber compared to what we were about to do.
Haven't seen you round here for a while. You been away?
Just very busy.
What can I get you?
A beer, thank you.
Right you are.
I'll be going away soon.
Oh, well you won't find better prices anywhere else.
There are no bars in the unfathomable void.
Sounds like there should be.
I mean, why would anyone leave the world on a day like this? They'd be a fool.
What are you on about?
Constance, can you keep a secret? What would you say if I told you that I know a man who's going to the moon, and that he was expecting me to go with him?
If that were the case, I'd say lucky you.
Oh?
Put it this way, sir. We know everyone round here, and I can't think of one who'd consider going even if you made the offer. They're nice folk, but tied down. You know what I mean.
Perhaps they have a point. Surely we weren't meant to go flying about in the sky. It's ludicrous.
Perhaps.
Wife! Chap waiting over here, quit yakking!
Lord, I'd give an arm for something ludicrous to happen to me.
Wife!
You hush your trap. I'm just coming.
Go on, look inside. It's finished.
Heavens! It's magnificent. Oh, and the chairs.
I finished them after you left. Hardly my strong suit, but well...
Thank you, Cavor. Cavor fussed over provisions. Did we have enough blankets, toothbrushes, spare bulbs? I thought it was a little late to do anything about it, but I suppose he was just anxious about the impending journey. So, When do we set off?
Help me brush the molten Cavorite onto the outside, and we'll be ready to shoot off as soon as it cools.
And so we began the indomitable task. The final farewell. We were committed. Then the horror of picturing ourselves lost, floating through the infinite void between stars, tied a knot in the pit of my stomach.
Quickly, inside!
The strangeness of it, the unearthliness overwhelmed me. Would we have enough air to last the return journey? Would our navigation even be successful? We sealed the hatch. I nervously checked over my suit. Heaven forbid we should get there and find a helmet left behind. The heat was stifling. Cavor assured me the craft would cool once we set off. We waited until a jerk and the deafening crash as we burst through the roof. Our terrifying journey into space had begun.
Can you believe it? Space! There's so much of it!
We're floating. Look, my feet are off the floor.
We're on the outreaches of Earth's gravitational pull.
Cavor, what's the smallest thing one could see from the Earth?
I should say the strongest telescopes might be able to see a large church or stadium.
They couldn't see us.
No, just a speck in a vast grey desert.
I had a friend who was an astronomer. Fancy if we could signal to them somehow.
I suppose it might just be possible to send a radio signal, but no, telescopes would be no use at all.
And so we were floating through space, not knowing if we would ever reach our destination. But we could take some comfort knowing we were at least the first people ever to fly among the stars. This concludes my last letter to you, Lily. I don't know when or if I will ever post it to you. Yours as ever.
Wake up! Wake up, Bedford!
What is it?
The moon is in sight. We're well on our way now. Soon we'll begin to feel the effects of its gravity.
How much food is there?
Oh, enough.
And air?
Plenty. Don't worry.
I suppose I'll feel a lot better once we're on terra firma. We won't spend too long there, will we?
We'll see.
What the... Cavor?
Good heavens!
What is it? What's wrong?
It's wonderful. Simply wonderful.
What is?
We've landed. We're on the moon. A bit of a messy touchdown, I'm afraid. While we were sleeping, our trajectory shifted a little. We're lucky we didn't overshoot altogether.
Oh, now he tells me. So, how long do we sit around inside here for?
Until the lunar day. A day here is equal to 14 Earth days, and the nights are just as long. Temperatures range from 120 degrees Celsius in sunlight to minus 170 in the darkness. Wrap up warm. We'll soon find out which side of the night we're on.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
No sign of moon men so far. jump.
Oh, careful, Bedford.
Try it.
I'm as light as a feather. Oh, how marvellous. Wait a minute. Look at these craters. Some of these are hollow, like some sort of natural cave system.
If you find a pot of gold in there, I'll have it for the savings account. Cavorite Enterprises. Just look at our Earth. Isn't it beautiful? You know, it doesn't look very busy from a distance. An entire animal kingdom concealed among a patchwork of green and blue. Don't you think? Where are you? Cavor? Are you down?